I stand before you today, fueled by a question that has been lingering in my mind for some time. This question woke me up at 4:44 in the morning. It's the question that is the catalyst for this conversation today. I've asked friends and family the same question, and I will ask the audience as well. But first, when I accepted the invitation to speak today, I was filled with a mixture of emotions, excitement and apprehension. Excitement at being able to share, but also the questioning began. It's one thing to put yourself out there, but then to be challenged with the opportunity to grow felt a little different. So there was the doubt and the fears. Like, what am I gonna say? Is it gonna be impactful? I'm going to stand in front of 100 people and talk. And it was in that moment, that crucial moment, that the question resurfaced. If you knew everything was working in your favor, would you worry? If you knew everything was working in your favor, would you worry? So I turn to you, my beloved community, and ask by a show of hands, would you still worry? Okay, some brave souls, I appreciate that. So today we challenge the notion that worry is an inevitable part of the human experience. What if instead of worry, we chose to dig into the profound truth that we are capable, that there is nothing that can be put in our path that we can't overcome, that we have example upon example within ourselves and outside of us, that we have the capacity, the remarkable resilience of the human experience that will allow us to adapt, overcome, and flourish. The mere testament is us being here in this moment. So consider this. It took 4,094 people within the last 400 years only, not since the beginning of time, but 4,094 people for each of us to be here right now. That means your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and so on. 4,094 people chose not just to survive, but to bring forth life. So now, if that is only within a 400-year period, let's then consider, what did they endure and sacrifice for us to be here in this moment? Throughout history, humanity has overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. We've endured systemic oppression, natural disasters, wars, a pandemic, and still, collectively, we overcame, we persevered, we made it through. It reminds me of the analogy of the seed that is planted in darkness, but finds its way around rocks and other obstacles, seeking nourishment and light, constantly moving towards the light. That seed then emerges eventually as a flower, which is an example and a testament of what it means to overcome obstacles. We too can triumph and overcome. So we talk about positive energy, how we can, instead of worrying, tap into a different energy. We can choose to be optimistic. We can choose to look for solutions as opposed to the worst case scenarios. Worry isn't something that is a part of us, more so instilled or ingrained in us. But what also is ingrained in us is the resilience of our very being. The fact, again, that we are here means that we've persevered and overcome. It's in our DNA for generations. So with that being said, how do we embrace the notion that worry isn't a part of us? Well, changing our mindset is first and foremost. Adopting a positive mindset. Choosing to look at the glasses half full as opposed to half empty. Secondly, discernment, choices, and decisions. We can choose to focus on the obstacle, or we can choose to focus on the opportunity. Lastly, community. That is something that is so important, to surround ourselves with like-minded people, to foster community of support and upliftment, to continue to set forth in that optimistic viewpoint. We're not there yet. But when we utilize all of those things, we bring all of those things together. It's not something that's easy, and it's not something, I'm not saying that we don't have struggles, that life is just peachy, and we don't have to deal with worrying about negative outcomes. What I'm saying is that we have a choice in it. We have a choice in whether we want to focus on the worst case scenario or the best possible scenario. And whatever the scenario, understanding that it's an opportunity for growth, that on the other side of whatever comes is the best version of ourselves. So if we continue to move in that vein, why choose to worry? Why not choose to be optimistic? Why not choose? Thank you.